Title: Alien siblings stank terribly, driving everyone away, until a human tamed their odor and won their hearts. In the far reaches of the Andromeda sector, there existed a remote planet called Garathis, a place infamous throughout the galaxy for its exotic flora, extreme weather, and most notably, its inhabitants, the Xynorians. These alien beings were intelligent, graceful, and powerful, yet they bore a rather unfortunate trait: a pungent odor so overpowering that it could clear entire cities within minutes. No one dared approach them unless absolutely necessary. Among these Xynorians were the twin siblings, Lyra and Chiron, renowned for their brilliance and feared for their stench. Their reputations were legendary. While they could craft technologies that rivaled the finest human inventions, and their knowledge of interstellar navigation surpassed most academies, any attempts to socialize ended in chaos. Merchants fled markets, diplomats canceled meetings, and even wild creatures on Garathis avoided them. Their odor was described as a combination of fermented starfruit, sulfuric gas, and scorched metal, a concoction no nose could tolerate for long. Despite their social isolation, Lyra and Chiron remained inseparable. They shared a bond deeper than any Xynorian duo, communicating in telepathic whispers and spending their days in the crystal towers of Garathis, experimenting with energy modules and teleportation devices. Yet, deep within their glowing cerulean eyes lay a longing for connection, for companionship, for someone brave enough to see past the olfactory chaos that surrounded them. Enter Ethan Carter, a human explorer and xenobiologist who had spent years traveling from system to system, studying alien species and occasionally solving problems that local populations had deemed unsolvable. He arrived on Garathis aboard his small research vessel, the Odyssey, seeking samples of the planet's rare flora, but quickly became aware of the twins. Reports described them as brilliant but unapproachable, dangerously intelligent, and most importantly, so odorous they could disrupt electronic sensors. Ethan's first encounter with Lyra and Chiron was memorable. He had landed near the Crystal Towers, carrying protective gear designed for hazardous atmospheres. The moment he approached, the twins appeared in a shimmer of iridescent light, their forms sleek and serpentine, with scales that reflected the faint purple glow of Garathis' twin suns. Almost immediately, the stench hit him like a gravitational wave. His protective mask barely contained the smell. His stomach churned. Who dares approach? Lyra's telepathic voice echoed in his mind, simultaneously melodic and commanding. I am Ethan Carter, he replied, trying to mask the gag reflex. I come in peace. I study alien life forms. I've heard of your genius, and I wish to learn from you. Chiron raised an eyebrow, if Xynorians had eyebrows. You must be insane, he said mentally. No human survives even a minute within our proximity. Ethan nodded. I am aware. That is why I have preparations. He activated a small device on his wrist that emitted a neutralizing field, designed to temporarily suppress noxious odors in the immediate area. The effect was imperfect but sufficient for short conversations. The twins, intrigued by his audacity and ingenuity, allowed him to enter the tower. For hours, they discussed complex theories of gravitational resonance, quantum teleportation, and interdimensional flora. Ethan marveled at their intellect, but more importantly, he noticed their loneliness. Despite their brilliance, their isolation had left a void he could feel through their telepathic vibrations. I have studied countless species, Ethan said after a pause, but none like you. There is genius here, unmatched anywhere. Yet it is wasted in isolation. You deserve more than solitude. Lyra's mind shimmered with surprise. No one has ever spoken to us like this, she admitted. Most flee, disgusted by our scent. Even the council avoids us. Chiron grumbled. And yet, this human remains. He does not retreat. Ethan smiled under his mask. Because I see more than the smell. I see who you are and what you can become. But he gestured to his device. Perhaps I can help with that too. Over the next several weeks, Ethan dedicated himself to a peculiar mission, neutralizing the twins' odor. His research combined Garathis flora, human biochemistry, and a touch of alien alchemy. He experimented tirelessly, mixing extracts from the starvine plants, enzymes from native crystal beetles, and his own specialized neutralizing compounds. The twins observed, fascinated. Each attempt was met with a range of reactions, from Chiron's skeptical hums to Lyra's analytical curiosity. Slowly, the stench diminished, replaced by a faint, pleasant aroma reminiscent of early morning dew mixed with lilac. The effect was not permanent yet, but enough to allow prolonged contact without overwhelming anyone nearby. During this process, a unique bond formed. Ethan, who had always approached life with logic and curiosity, began to experience emotions he had not anticipated. The twins, who had always existed in a bubble of isolation, discovered laughter, empathy, and warmth. They shared stories of their childhood, tales of experiments gone awry, and even their secret hopes of visiting other planets without fear. I never imagined anyone would endure this for us, Lyra admitted one evening as they gazed at the twin suns dipping below the horizon. Most would have fled in minutes. And yet, Chiron added with a rare grin, he not only endured, he persisted. Ethan chuckled. Persistence often yields results. But I must admit, I also wanted to meet the minds behind the legend. Their days passed in shared exploration, laughter, and intellectual debate. But a shadow loomed, a faction of Garathis Council, fearful of human influence, threatened to banish Ethan. Rumors spread that humans could destabilize the planet's energy fields, or worse, exploit the twins' genius for their own agendas. Faced with this challenge, Ethan and the twins devised a demonstration. Using the newly neutralized scent formula, Lyra and Chiron presented themselves publicly in Garathis capital for the first time in centuries. Citizens gasped, expecting the usual stench-induced chaos, but instead, they encountered a subtle, pleasant fragrance. Coupled with a display of teleportation and energy manipulation, the twins amazed the crowd. The council, impressed and wary, could not ignore the brilliance of the twins combined with Ethan's ingenuity. After a tense debate, they permitted Ethan to remain, not merely as a guest, but as a respected collaborator and companion. In the ensuing months, the bond between Ethan and the twins deepened beyond friendship. While Lyra's mind danced with empathy and creativity, Chiron's wit sharpened with humor and trust, and Ethan's steady rationality provided balance. Mutual respect blossomed into affection. The trio, human and twins, became inseparable, their lives intertwined in adventure, discovery, and companionship. Ultimately, their relationship evolved in a way neither species had anticipated. Ethan, having tamed not just the odor but the isolation and fears of Lyra and Chiron, became a partner in their journey. Together, they traveled across Garathis, ventured into nearby star systems, and even participated in intergalactic summits. Everywhere they went, they were no longer feared, but admired, not for their fragrance or novelty, but for tea.